It's a manic Monday, everybody. I'm writing in green in honor of all my good friends who are happy that the Eagles won. And we will start with that story in a minute. But look what we got here. Penny for your what? Because pennies cost a lot. And Donald Trump says pennies are gone. We'll get into that. Nickels cost more, by the way. Dozens of dogs abused. Terrible story right there about a bunch of chihuahuas. Money for Mangione. Yeah, Luigi Mangione. The defense fund is getting pretty big. Fines for foreplay. I just did that because of the alliteration. It's not about the foreplay. That's the issue that some Ohio lawmakers have. It's what happens after that they want to fine people for, particularly men. You will see why in a bit, and then we'll get to a wild weather week. Let's get to it. All right, the Super Bowl was a lot of fun. Afterwards, people had a little bit too much fun. So we are talking about some problems afterwards. Luckily, no major injuries that we've been able to keep up with at this point. Remember, after the NFC Championship, some major injuries, including a death of a Temple student who fell off a light pole. This time, they just brought the light poles down to them, which would also be dangerous in some scenarios. We are getting reports of up to 50 people that were arrested. 10 of those were actually abusing police officers, so some interaction with them. Most of it was just for disorderly conduct. But the point is, people had fun, and it wasn't terrible. There were some fires. That's not good. But I've seen worse, unfortunately. And this one we will let go as just a classic Philadelphia celebration that wasn't catastrophic and certainly not deadly like it was last time. Hey, don't forget, the parade is Friday. Going to be awesome. I went to the last one. It was rough, but people had fun. It was memorable, and I'm expecting the same thing. So I think Elise Person, our biggest on-air Eagles fan, is the one we're going to send to that one if it happens. So save up your pennies for that one if you want to go. Hey, speaking of pennies, are they annoying to you? Do you like them? I have a producer here, Dylan, who's obsessed with them. But really, what do you do with them? Do you just throw them into a jar and then maybe in a year or two you cash them in and you have to give up the 15% for doing that? Do you roll them up and have to take them back to the bank? What are you going to do? Well, President Donald Trump says he's sick of them as well. So he says that he's ordered the administration to stop producing the pennies, not just because they're annoying, but because they've lost basically all their buying power. High production costs as well. It costs 4 cents to make a penny that's worth 1 cent, the U.S. Mint said. It's a limited utility. It's a waste. So they don't really want to do that. Fans of the penny say, charities, they take it. It's useful. And the nickel costs 14 cents to make. So start picking on the nickel. How come no one's talking about that? It's just a lowly penny that people are all after. But this came after a lot of unsuccessful efforts to pitch the penny. Does he have the authority to actually do this? That's what we're looking into. Not sure he does, but he makes a proclamation, gets the attention of people, then we'll see if it can actually work. I think the U.S. Mint has the final word on this, but I'm not sure about that. I would be okay with the penny being gone, but you know what that means? They're rounding everything up to a nickel at that point. So we'll lose a couple cents on every transaction. But so many people deal with digital currency now anyway, and the apps and then your credit cards. I guess we wouldn't miss it too much. Really tough story here out of Gettysburg area. So police are called to this home. It's a domestic dispute. There's the home. They get there. It's not really a domestic dispute that's going on at that point, but they do encounter an unsafe home, in their opinion. More than 60 chihuahuas, and they are not being taken care of well, according to police. There are inches of feces and urine on the ground in every room except for the bedrooms. You couldn't walk anywhere without stepping in this. So they cited the parents. There was a person living there, a child as well. So they were cited for endangering the welfare of a child. There was so much feces there and bad conditions, more than 60 chihuahuas, about 50 of them taken in by the SPCA to try to bring back to better health. One of them had to be euthanized. It was found alive in one of the cushions for the couch, but they couldn't save it, had to be euthanized. Also being charged with having a dangerous home for the minor in that scenario. So it was Stephanie and Ray Dorita, February 1st, they found that in the 1300 block of Old Harrisburg Road. So tough situation there. We hope the rest of those animals are okay. And actually about a dozen of them got sent back to that home, which is kind of interesting. On to Luigi Mangione, the person accused of killing the CEO for United Healthcare last year. Well, a lot of people are sympathetic to him, or maybe they like the attention this has brought to the entire healthcare industry, or even worse, they approve of what he did. For whatever reason, he has a fundraising page. It's not GoFundMe. They will not fund things that are controversial like this. But there's another one that is doing it. It's called Give, Send, Go. And they've been taking money in to help out his legal situation. It was $200,000 around Christmas. It's now up to $300,000 for his legal defense. Now, I don't even know if his lawyers are charging anyway, because they're getting so much attention off this. Sometimes they do it pro bono in these situations. But either way, he's got $300,000 that people have been donating in chunks. I saw one today. It was $1,500. Another one was $100. So they're helping him out. And you can do it anonymously as well through this Give, Send, Go. I have the statement from Give, Send, Go. It says, our platform does not adjudicate legal matters or the validity of causes. Instead, we allow campaigns to remain live unless they violate the specific terms outlined in our terms of use. Importantly, we do allow campaigns for legal defense funds, as we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to access due process. So there you go. And obviously, everybody deserves their day in court. The next hearing for him in court is later this month, February 21st. What if this one will ever get to court or get off the ground? Ohio lawmakers are preparing to introduce what's called the Contraception Begins at Erection Act. You heard me right. Contraception Begins at Erection Act. It would make it illegal for men to have sex without trying to create a child. Two Ohio representatives, Anita Samani, Tristan Rader. I posted a video to Blue Sky talking about this. Basically, they're trying to combat what they think are unfair laws against women when it comes to trying to create babies. And they said fair is fair. If this legislature is so dedicated to regulating women's bodies and their access to contraception and abortion care, then let's start policing men in the same way. After all, it does take two to tango, right? The bill would make it illegal to discharge semen or genetic material without the intent to fertilize an embryo. So baby making only if you're going to discharge genetic material. The penalties for this, if it ever got that far, for illegally discharging genetic material, $1,000 for the first offense, $5,000 for the second, $10,000 for any subsequent offense. Enforcement. No, there's no word about enforcement. But this has been an attention getter. Some people are out there, and now you can talk about this with your friends and family. Once again, I'll say it again, just for the folks in the back that might not be listening on this Monday. It is the Contraception Begins at Erection Act out of Ohio. We'll keep you updated on that one. A seamless transition now gets us to wild weather and our good friend, Tom Russell, who's been listening into all this.
Why do you bring me in after this story, Jody? Why?
You're just next on the list. I can't control this. I mean,
you totally made that up. What are you talking about?
I do control this.
All right, please. It's uncomfortable. Let's talk about weather. Here's the deal. So we have a winter weather advisory, but notice as you look at this, it's just our southern counties. That's because this is mainly a southern storm. So it's going to be a bigger deal as you get into Maryland, especially Virginia. So we're on the northern fringe of this, which means maybe a coating to 2 inches. More the further south you go. So if you kind of think of maybe Route 30 and southward, that's where they have a chance at that 2 to 3 inch range. But for the most part, a coating to 2 inches, and this is going to play out during the day. Let's show you how it kind of plays out here. So coating to 2 inches, 2 to 4 as you get along the Maryland border, 4 to 6 as you get down to D.C., Baltimore, and again into Virginia as well. So this will play out later in the day, Joel D, tomorrow, but especially tomorrow night. It'll wrap up overnight on Wednesday. So it could affect a little bit of our action maybe Wednesday morning. I can't see anything more than a 2-hour delay maybe for schools. Okay. But then another storm comes right back Wednesday night, and this is another one of those wintry mixed kind of storms. So messier Wednesday night, excuse me, as far as sleet and ice and those potentials there.
Give me a starting point. I know it kind of, is it coming from the south? Is it coming west to east?
So the first one's coming more from west to east. So that's why it's going to be just that light, quick hitter. The one right behind it is a little more of a southerly track, which gives us that chance to tap into that warmer air and thus the changeover. So That's got a little more oomph to it, if you will. Again, that's Wednesday night. But even that one wraps up before sunrise on Thursday.
All right,
But I
one
think
more-
Wednesday, Thursday, we could be seeing some 2-hour delays.
Yeah, let's talk Tuesday one more time. That's tomorrow. Rush
Nothing
hour.
Nothing
Rush
till
hour
late
in
in the
the
day.
afternoon?
Yeah, after lunch, it would definitely be 2-3 o'clock before we see anything.
I mean, so rush hour could really be influenced by this.
Oh, rush hour. Yeah. I thought you said lunch hour. I got to get my
No.
mind on food, of course. So yeah, tomorrow evening's rush could be affected. It's light snow, but we've seen many times in our business still do. It only takes a little coating of snow.
And this one
Yeah,
will
probably.
start with snow.
All right, this is the first one is all snow, right? That's a good point because it's cold and it'll be that light, fluffy snow. There's no mixing with this first part.
Okay. All right, we get a little bit of everything, and then and then the weekend again. If I'm going to save people from that one, that's fine.
Yeah, and that's starting as a mix, but it's mainly rain because we're going to be probably around 40 degrees by by the time that comes into play. So that's
right.
mainly just messy.
Okay. Do you want to comment on any of these stories?
You're just egging me on, aren't you?
How about the penny? Seriously, what about the penny? Are you done with pennies?
No, I like pennies, and I think when we have kids, that's how you first teach kids about money and saving money, and you see the pennies stack up. So, I'm torn because, I hate to see it go away, but if it costs $4 or 4 pennies to make a penny, that doesn't make much sense, right?
It costs 12 cents to make a nickel. Like
that shocked me. I couldn't believe you had that stat. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big cash guy. I don't like all this cashless
No,
stuff.
it says here 14 cents to make a nickel. That
It
seems
doesn't make any sense.
crazy.
It doesn't make sense. You're right.
But I know that you don't want to go to digital currency either. We want to have
Right,
something that we
exactly.
can hold on to.
We need that. That's our way of controlling things.
Okay. All right, my friend. I'll pay you exactly 6 pennies to give me a better forecast at 10 and 11. How about that?
It's going to cost you that and a nickel.
All right.
All
Maybe
right.
not. All right. We'll see you later, man.
See you, bud.
Yep. All right, folks, you are caught up to speed. I'm Joel Dean, the place to be. Remember, you have to like, subscribe, and hit those notifications. That's that little bell thing that you see on YouTube. You know what we're talking about. That way, when we're on, you'll know it, and we will be able to tell you what's happening up to the minute. Thanks for joining us. If you are recovering from a fun weekend of enjoying the Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles, congratulations to all you guys, and hopefully you'll have a good time at the parade. And that reason it's Friday, by the way, I didn't talk to Tom about this. That's like the one day in this section where it's actually clear. So we have some stuff coming in Tuesday, Wednesday, and then over the weekend. So this, Friday is that good day. Even then it will be cold, but no one will notice. They'll be so happy. All right, guys, thanks for being here on a Monday with me on 21 Next.